that they do every single year by media executives in the league. And again, that's not the players ranking, which we have another topic on that we're going to get to in a minute. But this is coaches and executives in the league. They rank the top 10 quarterbacks. And I'm going to go in order their ranking really fast. Number 1 is Josh Allen. Number 2 is Patrick Mahomes. Number 3 is Matthew Stafford. Number 4 is Joe Burrow. Number 5 is Lamar Jackson. Number 6 is Dak Prescott. Number 7 is Justin Herbert. Number 8 is Drake May. Number 9 is Jared Goff. And number 10 is Caleb Williams of the Chicago Bears. Now, a name that was noticeably missing from that top 10 list, in my humble opinion, is the guy on the screen, Jalen freaking Hurts, who it has also been reported that out of everybody on this list, Jalen Hurts came in as the 14th best quarterback in the league. Excuse me? The guy who's been to 2 NFC championship games in the last 3 years, 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years, a Super Bowl MVP, outplayed Patrick Mahomes. I would make the significant argument twice in 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. And wait, he's barely above average in these coaches and executives' minds. You think Justin Herbert, who has never won a playoff game in his career, you think Caleb Williams, who in year 2 has only won 1 playoff game because of a miraculous comeback against the Green Bay Packers, you think Dak Prescott, who has never been to an NFC championship game in his career, you guys think they are all better than Jalen Hurts? What is this, a measurables contest? Because that's what it looks like to me. They're all the big, strong guys outside of Lamar Jackson.
The one explanation I can think of is that maybe it's the turmoil in terms of offensive coordinator. That's the one explanation I can think of.
Okay, but I would make this argument. He didn't get any, besides maybe Kevin Patullo. Maybe you could make the case he got him fired. But out of everyone else, Shane Steichen got a head coaching job. Oh, yeah, Kellen Moore got a head coaching job. Now, Brian Johnson, they just went on fire. So I don't think he was working with Jalen Hurts in the system, but I think Jalen advocated for Kevin Patullo and then realized it wasn't working. And Nick Sirianni's the one that cut bait with Kevin Patullo. The front office is the one who cut bait with Brian Johnson. So that doesn't make any sense for Jalen Hurts got Shane Steichen to Kellen Moore literally head coaching jobs.
When I say like the turn, okay, let me rephrase. I mean the turnover of offensive coordinators.
But again, you can't blame him.
I'm not. Hold on.
He has had a different offensive coordinator every year of his career except for one.
You just made my point. I was not trying to say it was his fault that these offensive coordinators have gone out the building. I never said that. But it's the constant change. You just said it yourself. So thank you for making my point. He's had a different offensive coordinator basically every season since his rookie year.
And by the way, the only time that they had the same offensive coordinator, Steichen took over halfway through that first year because Sirianni gave up play calling, and then Steichen was retained the following year.
So if you don't have that stability, you're not going to be able to be consistent.
And by the way, he's got another one this year. His name's Sean Mannion. I think the system's going to work. A.J. Brown is not there anymore. Does that have something to do with it? I don't know. The only thing I know is Jalen Hurts wins a lot of football games. The Eagles, since Jalen Hurts became the starting quarterback, Josh, have the most wins in the National Football League. But this guy is barely above average. And I don't get upset at a lot of things. I really don't. This personally sounds like it's coming from someone that has a bias towards Jalen Hurts. The one that actually really bothered me the most was Dak Prescott. Come on. And maybe it's my Eagles Cowboys bias. You can say what you want. I will take Jalen Hurts on 365 days out of 365 days over Dak Prescott every day of the week.
It's Justin Herbert that I have more of an issue with, not Dak Prescott. I would take Jalen Hurts over Justin Herbert.
By the way, you know what's interesting about Justin Herbert? Guess who they have Justin Herbert over?
Oh, God.
Drake May, the guy who outplayed him and beat him in the wild card game, and they say Justin Herbert's a better quarterback.
That makes no sense.
Well,
no.
What can I ask? Because again, this is from people in the league. This is not players. There is a different list that we're going to talk about. That is the players list, which sometimes I think players are out of their minds too. But what is and I like Justin Herbert a lot too. I think the Chargers are going to have a really great year this year. Spoiler alert. But Justin Herbert has yet to win and play well. I'll even add that in a playoff game.
Where is Cam Ward on that list? I want to know.
That's a good question because I believe he'd be towards the bottom. They only publish the top 10. I know from other sports shows when they were doing this topic, they said that they got like the inside subscription that Jalen Hurts is 14th. I don't know where Cam Ward is.
Because I am really high on Cam Ward this season. I think the Titans...
I would imagine he's like in the 25s. I would imagine from people in the league, he's like Shedeur Sanders level.
I think the Titans are going to be really good this season. I'm very high on Tennessee.
By the way, I also find this interesting because I disagree with this. They think Jared Goff is better than Caleb Williams. Now it's close. It's Caleb's at 10. Jared Goff is at 9, but I would flip them.
Not yet. I would say Jared Goff is a little more proven. I want to see Caleb do it again.
What I would say. I think Caleb, excuse me. Sorry, I keep joking. But I think Caleb has done more with less than what Goff has done. I think that Goff has shown, and if he doesn't have a good offensive line, he really struggles. And he really struggles when he's not inside of a dome. That's my problem with Goff.
Yeah, your point is totally valid. But again, I feel like I know what I'm gonna get with Jared Goff on a more regular basis. I don't always know what I'm gonna get with Caleb.
That's a good point.
I feel like Caleb has more up and down games. If he can kind of sustain what he did last season, not necessarily all the heroics, but if he can sustain the higher level of play, then you got me a little bit. But with Jared Goff, I know for the most part, I'm going to get decent quarterback play out of it.
Would you agree with me on this, though? Dak at 6 seems way too high. Like, I have Dak more towards the Goff category at 10 than top 5. I don't think Dak is a top 5 quarterback.
I didn't even hear you mention Lamar in there.
Lamar is in there. Lamar is at 5. So the top 5 is Allen, Mahomes, Stafford, Burrow, Lamar. I think that's probably the right top 5. Now, I want to make the argument Hurts is 6. And I think you can really debate because the problem I have with Stafford is age. Because I really do think Matthew Stafford's a great quarterback, but how long is he going to play? Would I take him over the young guys? That's my problem with Stafford. If I had to think about building my team today. But no, I don't think Dak, like, for example, I really don't think Dak is better. I think Dak and Herbert's close. I don't think Dak is better than Drake May. I don't even think Dak is better than Jared Goff.
Lamar, I was going to say, if Dak was over Lamar, we really had an issue.
Well, they had essentially, I mean, Lamar is 5, Dak is 6.
No, Dak is not that close to Lamar. Come on, what are we doing? As much as I dislike the Baltimore Ravens, when Lamar is playing, you gotta watch.
Okay, So this does lead me into our next topic because I know it has to deal with Bo Nix, but this is a part of the 100 players list that the NFL players vote on every single year. And I want to put this in perspective before we get into it. This is voted on by the players during the season. So this is not like an after effect. I believe they put in their votes even before like Thanksgiving of last season. So these are the rankings of the quarterbacks that they have out of the top 100 players in the league. 98, they have Bryce Young. 85, they have Brock Purdy. 77, they have Baker Mayfield. 72, they have Jordan Love. Unger, you're not going to like this one. 69, they have Lamar Jackson.
What?
62, they have Trevor Lawrence. And at 59, the 59th best player in the NFL, according to the players, is Bo Nix.
What? Why is Bo Nix 10 spots ahead of a two-time MVP?
What they are saying is Lamar was injured last year, so he didn't play the whole year. And a lot of people think Lamar has watched his fastball. We were going to put this in the rundown, but I sort of tied it in with this question. A lot of people think Lamar Jackson's done and that the Ravens Super Bowl window is completely closed.
Oh, I don't know about that. But in terms of this question, what we got out of Bo Nix this season was fantastic. I was high on the Denver Broncos coming into
you, and I thought about this topic because you told me, I think it was week 2 or week 3 of last year, you said you would take Bo Nix, over Joe Burrow, which I still don't agree with, and I never will agree with, because as long as Joe Burrow is healthy, I think he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL.
That's the problem, though. He can't stay healthy.
Okay, but can I make an argument? Neither can Bo Nix. And by the way, what kind of sent me off a little bit about Bo Nix is I can make a real valid case that if there wasn't a Mother Nature snowstorm in the second half of the AFC Championship game, the Broncos are going to beat the Patriots in that game with Jarrett Stidham.
Which, think about this. The only reason Jarrett Stidham played in that game is because we found out Bo Nix broke his ankle in that divisional round game, and I think he ended up still playing.
Well, no, that was like the last play of the game. Remember, they got in field goal range, and then he jogged off.
Yes. But even still, for him to even get them in field goal range, that says something to your team. Like, there's a reason the Broncos had the reaction they did when they found out he was done.
Yeah, and here's my thing about players list. Players, I guarantee you, don't get to watch everybody in the week. Players only get to really watch who they play throughout the season. So maybe there's a bunch of AFC players that got to see Bo Nix and watch Bo Nix play very well against them and say, you know what, Bo Nix is a really good quarterback. The problem is the NFL is not linear, as I say all the time. A guy can have a good year, a guy can have a bad year. I think it's very interesting that they rank him above a guy like Jordan Love, who just got last offseason a massive 5-year contract extension.
Yeah. But I don't know what to tell you on this one. We're going to see with the Broncos, because they have to play the Patriots again this season. They have to play the Jaguars. They have to play the Bills. They got to play some of the premier AFC contenders.
Now, here's the other thing with this list. I have always argued that ranking list by players in the NFL doesn't make any sense, because you're going to tell me that Bo Nix is less valuable than even a Myles Garrett? No, because I'm sorry, quarterback is just a more valuable position. I think quarterback rankings should just be by themselves. I don't even think they should be included on this list because, of course, they're the 32 best players. Because if you don't have a quarterback, you don't win games. Period.
What's up, Ari? That one of two of my campers are in the chat. Ari and Aaron.
Welcome to championship ring for the first time. If you are listening,
yes. But anyway, no, your point is valid. I get what you're saying. I don't always agree with that statement. You know how I feel about quarterback and MVP and quarterback.
Well, again, if you're going to tell me to start a franchise, have a draft, who would I rather take today? Bo Nix or Myles Garrett? Honest to God, I'd probably tell you Bo Nix because I want a quarterback. I can find edge rushers. I can find receivers.
Yeah. I mean, the Seahawks proved that. Jackson Smith-Njigba, I don't think he was a first-round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Jackson Smith-Njigba was a late first-round pick.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Seattle had 2 firsts. I believe Witherspoon was the first pick for them that year.
Yes. But we've seen franchises use late round picks on wide receivers, and they become an integral part of their team.
The only real position, and Jordan Malaya is an exception to this, my Eagles left tackle. But left tackle is the only position where you really can't find talent past the first round.
That part is true.